Good morning, students. Before getting into the video, you have to realize the fact of learning. So don't study to earn, just study to learn. And what you learn today is what you will become tomorrow. So enjoy the learning. Now get into the class. I'm S. Mohanasundari, Department of Chemistry. In this video, we are going to discuss Chapter 5, Air. So let us recap. We already discussed the properties of air, atmosphere, and what is composition of air. We all know the properties of air, like air occupies space, it has mass, it is colorless, it is tasteless, it is odorless, and it can be easily compressed. So these are all properties of air. And atmosphere. So the layer that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. So there are 5 layers of atmosphere: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. And the last one is composition of air. So there are several gases mixed together. So the composition of air describes that how much the gas present in the earth. So nitrogen is present in 78%, oxygen is at 21%, and the remaining gases like carbon dioxide, noble gases, water vapor, dust particles comes under at 1%. So the composition of air differ from place to place and season to season. So it is not exactly same. It differs from place to place. It differs from season to season, but there will be only slight differences, not the maximum one. So it differs from some place to place and some season to season. So we all know that nitrogen is at 78%, oxygen is at 21%, and the remaining things are all at 1%. Okay, now get into today's class. So these are the learning objectives, components of air. So in this video, we are going to discuss only the two components of air. The first one is nitrogen and the second one is oxygen. So let us see what is nitrogen. Nitrogen is denoted as capital N. So it is a major component of air. Almost 4/5 of air contains nitrogen gas. So 4/5 of the nitrogen is denoted by 78%. So in the components of air, nitrogen is the major one and it is the first because it occupying 4/5 of the area. It is a colorless gas, tasteless, and it is a odorless gas. So all the living things which is living in the earth need nitrogen compounds for their growth. So especially the plants use nitrogen gas for making their proteins. So these proteins are used by the plants for their own growth as well as the growth of human beings and other animals, because we are eating the things which we are getting from the plants. So it is useful for plants as well as animals and human beings. So okay, now say the answer of this questions. What is the percentage of nitrogen present in air? Right, 78%. And why plants are using nitrogen gas? Because to make proteins. Now discuss about oxygen. So it is also a colorless, tasteless and odorless gas. It is slightly soluble in water. We all know it is slightly soluble in water because the oxygen that presents in water is used by the sea animals to breathe. So it is slightly soluble in water. And also it is essential for the person for breathing. So we are breathing the oxygen and we are all exhaling carbon dioxide. So it is very essential for the respiration process. And also in ordinary conditions we use the air around us for breathing purpose, but at special conditions or at critical conditions we use oxygen gas cylinders, like when we are swimming or when we are climbing mountain or we are a patient, we need a special support for getting oxygen. So for example, the patient suffering from diseases like asthma and breathing related disease, or they are affected by some sickness, they get difficult for breathing. So And that time the gas cylinder, the oxygen gas cylinder is used for controlling their respiration process and to support their respiration. So all the hospitals have cylinders which is filled with oxygen gas. And also at high altitude of mountains, that is at high peak, the air is very thin. The amount of air is very less. So when we are going to that high altitudes, we have to carry an oxygen cylinder with us, because it is very difficult to breathe at high altitudes because there will be less amount of oxygen. So that the mountaineers use oxygen gas that is filled in cylinders to breathe, because at that critical condition when there is very thin layer of air, we need a support to breathe. So that mountaineers carry oxygen cylinders with them when they are climbing at high altitudes. And also the divers go deep into the sea, they carry oxygen cylinders with them. So when they are diving in the sea water, when they are going to the deep of the sea, they must contain oxygen cylinders with them, because there is no free oxygen in the sea water. We all know it is slightly soluble, but there is not a free oxygen there. So they should definitely carry oxygen cylinder for breathing when they are going deep. And also when we are traveling in flight, there will be mask, oxygen mask for any critical times. So if there is any problem when they are traveling, while traveling, they can use the oxygen mask for breathing. So in airplanes also they contain oxygen cylinders. And also the one thing we have to know, oxygen supports burning, that is combustion. Burning and combustion is the same thing, it is not a huge difference. So the process of burning a substance is called combustion. The process of burning a substance is called combustion. So air is necessary for burning. If something is burning, means the important thing that is used for that purpose burning is air. Without air nothing can burn, so that thing can get combusted. So air is necessary for burning or combustion. When a substance burns in air, it is actually the oxygen present in air which is used up in the process of burning. So we can come to a conclusion that when substances starts burning, we can definitely say that oxygen is used for that burning process. So the burning will take up the oxygen around that. So that oxygen is used for burning. When the oxygen and heat is combined as well as the fuel is added, it starts burning. And also we can see that traditional chulha and kerosene stove at our homes. In villages we can see, still now we can see that traditional stoves. So we can see in this picture itself, chulha and kerosene stove. These are the things used for that time for cooking. But nowadays we are using gas cylinders and inductions also nowadays we are using. But this is a traditional method of cooking, and in that traditional method of cooking we use that stove like a chulha and kerosene stove. So in that the process of burning is different. So in chulha there are gap between two pieces of wood so that air remain available for burning. So in the picture itself we can see there is a two sides, and that center we are keeping the pieces of wood and it starts burning, so that the heat is used for cooking foods. As well as in kerosene stove also there will be perforated cylinder. So in that cylinder when we blow air, it starts burning. That means in that perforated cylinder it takes up the oxygen around that. As well as in traditional chulha we can see that instrument that lady is using. So through that air is blown to burning the wood. So these are the things we are discussed now, right? So we are discussed about nitrogen and oxygen, and the remaining components of air we will discuss in further videos. Thank you students, we hope you all enjoyed this.